Hey, hey, hey.
Oh yeah, cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop, baby.
The best thing about that interview is he keeps throwing them away, and somehow he keeps getting more and more.
I love it, man. I love it. Loved him back in that day.
Oh, he was great.
Look at this. Just like when Frank and Bill are in the jacuzzi, the cream
Oh
rises to the top.
no,
That's a terrible way to
no,
start the show, Mo.
no,
It's
no, no,
terrible.
no. That's too easy
Oh
to
my gosh.
picture. No,
I
boo.
know.
Ugh,
Whew.
gross.
Oh yeah. All right. So let's welcome some people to the show. We got Raiden Radio. Hail
Hell,
all.
Raiden.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Corey Barton's in the house. Hey everyone.
Hell, Corey.
Hail Corey.
Do you think he knows
Mo
we're gonna have
Biggs.
babes in the second issue?
Are we? Are we gonna have babes? I don't know. I don't think he realizes that. I think
Oh,
he
he
thinks
doesn't
we're
want
not going to have babes.
Oh, healthy babe.
I think you're against babes, so he don't want. He thinks you don't think we want babes in the book.
I'm not against babes.
Oh, really?
Just our one female character in the first issue is not a babe. That's not how she is.
Oh, okay. She's not a babe.
No babes.
My wife says no babes.
No babes.
Yeah, my wife says no babes.
Well, when they're in the arena, there has to be some babes in the arena.
Yeah, I think there's got to be. I mean, this is like a savage time. Got to have a few, at least.
Well,
But
they're in a civilized place, but the arena is
I mean, that's not
you know,
civilized.
anything goes. What are you talking about? Football's our arenas now. That's not
Yeah.
civilized. They're knocking each other's heads off.
That's true. Babes, as in the old-fashioned term for babies. I thought they were suddenly
No.
dwarves, but now I realize it's just a flashback scene to when they were kids. That's weird. Oh my gosh.
He is right though.
Flashback scene.
Babes.
Uh-huh.
The term babes is for babies. How did
Yeah.
that become an attractive thing? Ugh.
See? I know. They get us every turn, don't they? They just try.
It's like what you were talking about that was at the convention of those
Yeah.
babies that are sexualized. What the heck, man?
Yeah. Where's Crazy Mad,
heck?
man? We do not see Crazy Mad in the chat. He's been staying up too late. That's what it is. Staying up too late doing Star Wars videos. Was that
Sorry.
you?
That was my
My
phone.
gosh. Look at that. Hey, Corey, my current campaign has a hot babe. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There we go.
Nudge,
All right.
nudge.
Nudge, nudge. Boy, it'd be great if
nudge.
Crazy Mag came in here, did his question of the week. That'd be real cool.
Maybe he's busy at work.
I hope he can do it. We'll give him a few minutes and see if he comes along. So, it'll be a first show in a while. We haven't had a question of the week. I don't know what we'll ever do. So,
Question
we'll
of the
welcome
week.
everybody anyway.
Do we make our own question, or do we skip it without Crazy Mad?
No, 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 no. Not yet.
We'll
Give it
wait.
time. Yeah, see,
Hopefully
Crazy Mad was
everything's okay.
he was up super late talking about Ahsoka, so I'm thinking he's like missing out tonight, maybe. But we'll see. We'll
people-
give him some time.
Are people liking it, or I haven't even watched it? I haven't given it. I don't. I think just everything they do right now is terrible.
I mean, most of what they're doing is terrible, but I didn't hate Ahsoka. I already told you this. I think, could they have some better writing? Sure. But I think that in the
Were you entertained?
overall, yeah, overall, I liked some pieces of it, and I like that they're bringing live action characters from the Rebels cartoon. So I like seeing that. So I'm going to give it some more time. I'm not going to make a big, quick, fast judgment yet. I'm going to watch a few episodes. Because I'm telling you, I hate Star Wars right now. But I feel like this is a little bit outside of my love for Star Wars. Because it's so far after what I love that I almost can separate them as being two separate things. Doesn't mean I'm excusing their behavior. It means I don't have the love and affinity that I have for the original stuff as I do for this. So it lets me separate them as two separate things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So that's why. That's why I'm giving it a shot. That's why I'm going to give it some time. And we'll see what happens, and I'm hoping it gets better. I hope it gets fun and cool. We'll see where it goes.
I'm kind of like that with like Ninja Turtles. It doesn't have to be perfect for me to like it. Like I saw the new movie and I enjoyed it, but I know a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I haven't seen it. But
Well, you're not
you know,
really, you're not really into turtles though. You're not. That's not your thing.
It's not my thing, but will I watch them? Yes. So
Yeah, but they're not like in your top
Depends.
5 IPs.
No, definitely not.
Like they're in my top 5.
Sure, I get that. I
I love
understand
those
that.
turtles.
Yeah. Murph's had to set a phone reminder not be retarded for an hour.
Raiden, I'm super retarded when I'm on this show. So I have an alarm to remind me.
Huh?
Because it's what gets the views.
Never go full retard.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy Mad, Arrogant Ape, and Steve That Star Wars Boy all seem to enjoy it, but then again, they also loved Andor. Yeah.
I never watched
that's
Andor
true.
either.
I never watched Andor all the way through. I saw like 2 episodes. Bored
You
me
didn't
to
like it?
tears, so I quit. It bored me, so I quit. I watched the first episode of Ahsoka and thought it was okay-ish. See, I'm a little more than okay-ish with this, but I'm a little leaning towards where Mo's at with this. Saw the trailer for the new Turtles movie and instantly didn't want to see the movie. The trailer itself was too much to endure.
I mean, I understand what Mo, because it does have this energy to it, but I liked it. I liked that they were more, young teens. They were more 13, 14-year-olds rather than like 18 or 19-year-olds, because they're more adult. Even they're called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They've always been older teenagers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I like the Turtles in a lot of ways. I do like them. I just don't love them like you do. And so I will always give them a shot, and I'll watch some stuff with them, and I do like the characters. It's just if I miss out on it, I might miss out and be like, okay. But I'll try to catch up and see some stuff with them.
I mean, they're my first comic book. Like, I had 90 issues of the Archie Ninja Turtle Adventures books. Like, I love those things. So, you know what I mean? There's all these other mutants that they have that they've really never touched upon that's in them.
I was okay until Ahsoka looked into the camera and said, I'm so sick of all these Star Wars.
I think he's joking, but I could see them doing that.
I just, I'll give things a shot, man. I mean, if they interest me, I'm going to go and see what it does. Obi-Wan interested me, and then I was instantly upset, so I gave up on it.
See,
it was a piece of shit.
Star Wars is your number 1 IP, right?
It used to be. It used to be. It was not. It's not anymore, but it used to be. Yes.
What is now? What is your number 1 IP?
Oh man, I mean, I think now I've just kind of gone to. I mean, I always will have a deep love for Lord of the Rings, and I mean, there's several others I'm not thinking of on the top of my head right now, but yeah, that's a major.
I love Lord of the Rings. There's just not a lot of it out there. Like, if that's your favorite IP. There's not like there's something there all the time. Like, I mean, Rings of Power, but that was so
okay.
god-awful,
But you got to remember, when Star Wars came out, that's all we had to deal with for a long time.
Yeah.
So I mean, you only had the original trilogy, and then after that, man, it was like over a decade before we got anything new. So,
dude, it was almost 2 decades, right?
Well, 80. What was it? 83.
One, right?
No, it was 83.
Is Return of the Jedi?
Or is that 86? I can't remember. But it was...
No, it's definitely 83. It's earlier than later.
Yeah, because 81 was Empire, 83 was Return.
And
so yeah, you're talking almost 2 decades.
Because 99 was Phantom, right?
Yeah. So 16 years.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And you didn't have other IPs out there to get you over, you know what I mean? But, yeah.
Mo says,
Oh,
Not True Dirt. You had the holiday special,
oh.
2 Ewok Adventures, the Ewoks cartoon, the Droids cartoon.
He's right.
Yeah, but
He's right. You did have comic books too. Star Wars did have comic books. Where like Lord of the Rings, other than The Hobbit and that, there's no comics or, you know what I mean? And you had other books, novels after the movies that people wrote. So Star Wars did have stuff where I think Lord of the Rings, out of any IP, probably is one of the more lacking IPs out there.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
Lord of the Rings up there for me, but there's not much of it to consume.
There's not much to consume, but
Yeah,
I
Mo
think there's
said
a
comics
lot.
and novels and video games. Yeah, there was tons of Star
Yeah.
Wars video games.
There was, but you know what? The truth about the comics, I never.
I've
It
never
never
read
hit
them
me.
either.
It never
They're
hit
not
me like
good?
the movies did. I know there's a lot of novels that came out, and I never read a lot of those either. But I liked the stories of some of them. I just never read them, and I was very intrigued by the
Last
novels. I felt kind of overwhelmed with some of it though because there was so much out there. Yeah, the video games
So-
were awesome.
So if Star Wars is, because X-Men by far is my number one IP. I love,
Yeah.
like, X-Men. I love it so much it's like pizza to me. Like bad X-Men is still good because I
Yeah,
love
I
it so
know.
much. You know, it's
Right.
like you don't have that with Star Wars where you love it so much, even if it's mediocre, you still love it.
I used to until the last trilogy, and when they did what they did to Luke,
Yeah. Oh.
it soured everything, man. It soured it all the way, and then I was like, I can't do that. So I used to do that like you're talking about. They could bring out bad shit, like all this stuff coming out now with with Boba Fett and all that. I probably would have been defending it, but except what they did to Luke in the new trilogy was just too much. I couldn't go on past that, and I was like, you know what? It's fucked.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. I get
So, I love X-Men so much it's like pizza to me. Murph trying to turn the conversation back to the Turtles. Nice.
that. I like the Turtles, but no, the X-Men are way better than the Turtles. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Claremont's
That's
17
cool.
years is just amazing.
Right. Hey Corey, that icon, I drew that, man. I drew that. Isn't that cool? That's Mare.
That's
our
the
main
Mayor
character.
card. That's the card we had for the.
Yeah, that's the metal card that we sent to everybody in the
Mhm.
in the campaign. Look at him. No babes. Come on.
No, they'll be babes. They'll be babes
are
in the
coming.
arena. In the arena, for the games.
That's right. So today we wanted to go into some things, guys. We had a mini con over the weekend and we sold some books. It was
So
really
we're
cool.
not doing. So no question of the week.
Not yet. I mean, you never know. Crazy Mad may pop in late. He's been known to do that before, and so I say we give him more time. If
Okay.
not, when we get later into the show, maybe we can do it before we get out of here or something like that. So,
Or someone from the
Um,
chat could come up with one.
yeah, Mo has stepped in there before, so if he wants
Yeah.
to or something, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
But we sold some books, we sold some posters,
Mhm,
I sold some art prints, we had bookmarks. What else? That was mostly it. That's most of the stuff we sold. We did decent for having such a small crowd. It really wasn't that big of a con. But it was nice and it was cool to meet new people. We had some people that said they were going to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so we'll see if
Which we
we
did
new
get some more
subscribers.
subscribers.
Oh,
We
okay.
did, so I'm
I
guessing
saw
you
we had
did.
one.
We went from
and then
we
we
went from 230 to 233.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I had a great experience at the con. I loved the con, and anytime I get to talk to people about our book, it's fun. It's a great time, and it's neat to see people get excited for things and talk and nerd out over some stuff that they love, even if they're not into our book. So it was a great time to do that. The one thing that we were going to talk about tonight was just some observations we made, which ties into what we were talking about on on the thumbnail of this YouTube, show, was there wasn't very many boys at the Minicon, and it's really strange to see how many girls have taken on this genre and kind of made it their own thing. You know what I mean? It's interesting to see how many have done that.
Because you even get like trinkets where people are selling little trinkets and things for like purses. And...
Yeah.
I don't tell Derek stuff in the future anymore just so he doesn't spoil it. There's tons of stuff that...
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Hey, there'll be Babes as a spoiler. And the arena is a spoiler.
Oh, okay. So we're going to get to Mo's question of the week in just a moment. So thank you for doing that, Mo. I appreciate that. So we'll get there. But now that we're getting into the subject, let us talk about this for a few, and then I'll come back up to your question.
Well, it's not just because of that. I actually watched the Florida Gators documentary on Netflix, and something in that show really got me is where Tim Tebow was talking about when he grew up. One of his coaches said, okay.
What was the name of the show that you watched? Because you didn't talk about it.
What I just said about the Florida Gators?
Yeah, what's the title? It was Swamp Kings, right? So if you're on Netflix, you can watch The Untold Tales of Swamp Kings or something like that is what it's called, I think.
So they really call Untold Tales of...
It's something like the Tales of the Swamp Kings, or it's something like that. It's really kind of weird. So,
5
check it
episodes. So, Tebow says that he had a coach say, hey, it's not about winning or losing, it's about having fun. And he was like, this is America. No, winning is what's fun. And I really thought about it. I'm like, I mean, he's right. Like, you will have fun when you win. And that is kind of weird that we've gone to that so much that, like, winning and losing doesn't matter. And I think that's when you take masculinity out of stuff. Because masculinity is about winning. It is about,
Well, it's about competing for the win.
And winning. Yeah, for the win.
Well, winning, yes, but you're fighting for the win.
It's not
you're
cheating.
Not fighting to just be mediocre. You're fighting for the win.
And you don't cheat either. Cheating takes away.
Yeah. Right. It's about the fight, man. It's not, you're having fun, of course, and you want to enjoy the ride, but it feels so much sweeter whenever you win.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just I think it woke me up a little bit in the con to see just how manga has kind of taken over everything, because there were booths, next to us.
Yeah.
Very nice people, and like I said, it was nice to meet them, and it was really fun. And nothing against their stuff that they're creating. It's just more manga-esque. And I saw a lot of the girls gravitating to that stuff. It's those cutesy characters. They're almost like half animal, half human. They're half... I don't know. They almost look like they could be Pokemon at different times, or
like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, it's weird styles like that, and they tend to go towards those things, and that's cool. They can like whatever they want, and it's fine. It's just that I just noticed I was really hoping we would get some boys that would be like, oh man, that looks badass. You know what I mean? Like they were just like really into it. And I was hoping to see even some teenagers and stuff, but we really didn't see that.
No teenagers at all.
No, the teenagers we saw were girls, and they were into the manga stuff. The boys that we saw were very little, too little to really understand what they were looking at, I think.
Yeah, between like 8 and 10-year-olds.
They even younger, I think. I think they were probably like 5 or 6. And
well, yeah, because there's that one kid that couldn't decide, and then he just got a poster instead of getting the comic, and he was really young.
Yes, he was very young. He was probably about 7 or 8, but but the other kids, like 5, they'll see Batman, they'll see Superman, and they'll be like, "Ooh, that's cool." But when they're seeing something new like us, they have to decipher what that is, and if they're not used to seeing things like this, it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And it's scary because it almost makes you think, where the hell? There's no masculinity in a lot of the
Pop culture.
cartoons anymore. You know what I
Pop
mean?
culture.
Yeah, a lot of pop culture. They've taken a lot of the masculinity out of it, and so you don't get these brute force, brute strength heroes anymore. You know that they're promoting. They're there, like with us, they're there, but they're not promoting them. So
Yeah, outside of like
yes,
Vin Diesel's Fast and the Furious,
yeah.
what other like if you thought of right now, if Stallone and Schwarzenegger were in their 30s, what movie characters would they play?
I know that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think of wait, which character, which actors did you say?
Schwarzenegger and Stallone, the
Well,
80s
right.
that were all the
Yes.
masculine.
Uh,
What movies would they be in?
I think of Mel Gibson too. Just think of
Yeah,
Mel Gibson.
yeah, Lethal
'Cause
Weapons. What
Lethal
and
Weapons,
Braveheart,
Mad Max,
Mad Max. Yeah.
Braveheart. I mean, he was in so many awesome, very masculine parts. You know that, and there were a lot of movies I loved growing up.
Bruce
Even
Willis.
The Patriot. The Patriot is one
The
of my
Patriot
favorite
is great,
movies
man.
of all time. I love that movie.
Oh, that scene
And
where they get them in the forest with
yeah,
his
it's
two
awesome.
sons. Oh, and
It's
he's
so
got
good.
axes. Oh, it's so awesome, man.
It is an awesome scene,
Oh
and
man, that's great.
that's what I'm saying. Like, where is that, man? Like, where are we seeing that? We're not seeing that right now, and it's really scary because it's really kind of changing to the point where you're going, all right, you know, they really do feel like they're trying to erase the masculinity, and I feel like right now the generation coming up with my son, my youngest son, is starting to push that. You know, they're starting to, they enjoy it. You know, they don't mind that there aren't really strong masculine characters or men out there
Well, because isn't that
leading
what
the
Thor
way.
should be? And
I
they
mean,
made him more
yes,
into joke,
but
a
they've
joking
dumbed
character.
him
Yeah.
down, and yeah, yes, exactly. Um, Arnold can play himself in "Fuck Your Freedom's" a lockdown story.
Oh, dude, I was so disappointed when he said that.
Yes.
Like, especially
Yeah.
being, not born American, coming here as an immigrant. Like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
that's so disheartening. You know,
Disheartening.
good
Yeah.
stuff.
Hey, good stuff. Thanks for stopping by, man. But yeah, it is disheartening, and I guess I'll just tell you. I've probably said this story already. I might have even said it on here, but my youngest son, he's very much a country boy. He likes his truck. He's very much into dirt bikes, hunting. So shooting guns,
Hell, Hick
shooting a
Villain.
bow and arrow. He's all about the
Oh,
country
bow and
stuff.
arrows are awesome. So much fun.
Yeah, but he does it not just for fun, but because he hunts. You know what I mean? So there's a double side to that. He loves it, plus he uses it to hunt. And
Yeah.
I'm going, he's very much a boy. He's very much a man, a young man, and boy to young man. And I love that about him because he's, and my older son is that way too. They're very boyish. There's nothing feminine about them. And it got to the point where Ethan was trying to date a girl. He broke up with one girl, got to where he was dating with another girl, and the girl had him over to her house. Well, he went and hung out with her, like, it might have been 2 times, and the second time she told him, "We got to break up," or I don't want to see you anymore. Basically, you're too masculine for me. And that's what she told him. She's not used to being with a boy, like somebody who likes to do boy things. They want to be with these young men who are ambiguous or something. I have no idea, but it freaks me the hell out,
Or more sensitive.
I think he
Don't
is
wanna talk about
sensitive though, because if
emotions?
you talk to my son, he's very
No, but you know what
he's
I mean. There are
well-rounded
guys
that
that are
way.
very.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are guys that are very sensitive. You know what I mean?
The thing about my son is that he's not so macho that you can't talk to him, but his actions are more in that realm. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a strange thing for me. Hicks villain, hey, good to see you, man. And but it made me kind of sad for him too, because I was like, it's too bad that he has to put up with that, and listen to these girls tell him. And then he got back with his other girlfriend that he had broke up with before, and she told him the same thing.
Yeah.
She said, "You're too masculine." And I'm like, that is just to hear it from two different girls, And he was like, this is kind of crazy to me. And that's the age that we're living in,
At least that's more than a compliment than be like, I can't date you because you're a dick.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. I mean, yeah. Look at this. You're too masculine for me. Frank and Bill don't have to deal with that nonsense. It's true. Love that new page, Corey. It looks great. Oh, yeah. Did you see Corey's new page? It is really nice.
Corey was all over on Twitter today, or X, or whatever it's called now.
Yep, for the Andromenoids. Really nice, Corey. Looking forward to it. Lots of babes. And, it's really terrible because I think, we're missing it. We're missing it in the leadership of our country. We're missing it in our... in our pop culture. We're missing it in everything right now, and it's being removed. It's really a sad deal. And I'm really happy my son didn't go with the norm, and he actually said, F all that, I'm going to enjoy being a boy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I love that, and I'm going to cherish that. You know what I mean?
Randy Savage
as a father,
never apologized for any of the macho madness.
That's the way it should
Never.
be. We should.
Never.
I'm not going to apologize. I will never apologize. Not ever.
Yeah.
And you guys shouldn't either. And it's, but it's really cool, and it's just kind of scary. And I think it was interesting, a little glimpse to see at the Comic-Con, and then, just to see a change, a big change, even from the year that we were there before, which was like 3 years ago, before COVID. Because we had more boys showing up at that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, Corey says, "I knew you would." Corey says, "Can I do a question of the week?"
Well, what did Mo do? I mean, he can.
Well, let's go to Mo's real quick,
Corey.
since this is a good.
Corey, if you got something, send it.
Well, maybe we can do 2 questions of the week. We'll do Mo's question of the week, and Corey, if you have a question, put it out there for us, okay?
Okay, so yeah,
let's do Mo's real quick. Question of the week. How much cooler would it have been for George Lucas to do the sequels before the prequels while the original actors were still young enough to work?
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the... I mean...
I don't know.
Yes. If they were doing it based off those books where Luke had a wife that turned to the Sith and they had twin Jedis for Han and Leia. Yes. Definitely yes.
Okay.
But only if it was that. Not what they did now. Like,
I agree with you, and I think there were a lot of novels they could have followed with that, and there was a lot of story in there, so they definitely could have done a great story with that. They could have done Shadows of the Empire. They could have done so many other things with that.
They should have done that.
And it would have been awesome.
Oh, man.
And, but the truth is, yes, in the spirit of doing it while they were young, yes, he should have. But the sequels should never have been made the way they were made now. Those are abominations and should not exist. The sequels should have been just a continuation of the characters that we love, I think. That's what
because you don't want to make the sequels have an empire again, because then it takes away the original 3. Like, that's why those books were different. They were dealing with other stuff than a whole, empire. I think she did try to bring the empire back, but it wasn't like how it was fully forced in these new ones, where it was like nothing changed.
Right. Mo says it takes 2 questions from us to fill the void left by Crazy Man. That's for sure.
You just said that's for sure. I disagree. Hopefully Crazy Man will be mad at you and not at me.
No. The void left by Crazy Mad. I mean, he leaves a big void. That means that's a compliment to Crazy Mad.
Mo said, though, that the void was filled with 2 questions. saying
Well,
it was easy
yeah.
to fulfill his void.
Oh, I don't think he's saying it's easy. I'm thinking he's saying it's taken more.
He says it takes 2 questions from us to fill the void. That means it's not a big void.
Oh boy. Okay, here we
That
go.
was a
So anyway, back
Mo
to Star
gave a
Wars.
negative. That was a negative comment towards Crazy Matt.
No, it wasn't. Okay, anyway. So I think Star Wars should have been left alone, or they should have done that. And if you know anything about the Yuuzhan Vong, which was a cool villain, like
Mo
cool
cha-
alien group,
Mo
that
changed
would have been
what
a
he
great
said.
thing.
That maybe you were right and I was wrong. Versus
Yeah.
1 question. Okay.
That's the way I took it, right there. 2 questions from us versus 1
Hey,
question from him.
I can admit that I'm wrong, even though we've done 150 videos and this is the first time. I can admit it.
That means his
Okay,
questions
Mo.
are twice as good. See, I
Yeah,
took it that way.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
I got
They
it.
wouldn't have been made the way they were made now if they were made in the 90s. And it's true. It's true. They would have been better. It would have looked cooler. So, Hicks Villain says if they adapted Heir to the Empire or Dark Empire, it would have made enough where
Yeah.
Lucas could have bought Disney. It's true. I agree totally,
Damn.
wholeheartedly with you.
Damn.
I agree. It didn't change it at all. My
Yeah,
question
yeah.
of the week. If we were to let Hollywood die, what country's cinema would you replace it with? I think Bollywood would probably be the top contender. I mean, they already have everything in order, right? Like they're ready
What would
to
happen
go.
is independent cinema here would rise because it's still
But-
we're still ahead of all these other places.
You know
you'd
who
have
I
independent-
like? I like to watch movies from like Norway and shit. Like they had the movies. The girl that played with what was it? The girl played with fire. And the girl
I don't
that,
know what that
the
is.
girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl that
Never-
played with fire, and
Never
what was
watched
the third
them.
one?
Are they good?
Damn, yeah, they're good. The originals are better, so don't watch the American version.
Oh.
Yeah, there was quite a few movies from there that are pretty interesting. So I would watch some of those.
I never watched it because I heard there was a really bad like rape scene in it, like a disturbing one, and I don't like that stuff. That bothers me. So
Saying indie is like saying you'll vote third party. A lot of countries have some great movies, but you're seeing like the 5 best movies they ever made. It's true.
yeah, yeah,
It's true.
Mo's right.
That's Norway. It's the same way, and then Bollywood.
Well, wouldn't European cinema take over?
There's not a lot there. Like
There isn't.
I think there's a lot of independent things there. You know, but I don't think they have like a big thing going on like we do. Nowhere.
I mean,
near.
Nolan would still be big. Christopher Nolan does his own stuff, so we'd still be getting his stuff.
I mean, if Hollywood died, it wouldn't have all those people.
But Nolan would still be around. You'd have filmmakers that'd be doing their own stuff. People would
Maybe.
just fund it. People would fund it.
Yeah, I think you'd see indie. The indie thing would come up, and
Do you
I
think
think you're
people
right
would
about
start?
that.
Do you think people would start funding movies
Yeah, definitely.
like Kickstarter? Like to see Ninja Turtles new
Hell
movie,
yes.
you gotta fund
They already
it.
are doing stuff like that.
They did it with Spawn, right? Haven't they been
I don't
doing
remember.
kickstarting to make that movie?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't know that.
Mm.
I once saw a French film about a girl's erotic journey from Milan to Minsk.
Is he being funny?
Oh, man.
Is that
I
a
take it
movie
as
we
funny.
should know?
It sounds funny, whatever way he's putting it.
I mean, erotic journey. That doesn't. I don't know if that's considered a.
So there are some cool French movies.
Name one.
You should see Delicatessen.
heard of it.
Delicatessen was a good French movie. Hang on, let me look up the director's name, and then I can name a few movies by him. And then you guys probably have either already seen, or you've seen a movie by him because he did Aliens 4. But he was cooler when he was just doing French movies. So let me look up.
Aliens 4.
Yeah.
Was that good? I don't know if I've ever seen Aliens 4.
Really?
I saw Prometheus and I was very disappointed with that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Did you like
Jean-Pierre
Prometheus?
Junot.
I don't know.
I didn't like it. Jean-Pierre Junot made Delicatessen, and he also directed several other films. Hang on a minute.
Derek, these aren't
Uh,
gay movies, are they?
no. You wish.
No, I don't.
I think you do.
I've never even watched Breakback Mountain.
What? Well, you can't say it even if you did, so it doesn't matter. Hang on a minute, and I'll find it because it has Alien Resurrection was the fourth movie, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
So it
he
wasn't
did
called
that.
Aliens 4.
One of my favorite films of all time is The City of Lost Children, and it's a French movie. He also made Delicatessen just before that, and Amelie. Did you ever see Amelie?
I don't think
He
so.
kind of got big around that time, and then he did the. That's when he did the Alien movie, I think, with Audrey Toto, or something like that. Amelie. Yeah. He's just the movie itself just had a really cool story. City of Lost Children and Delicatessen. I recommend those two movies.
Is Mel Gibson considered an independent? What is his company called?
I'm not sure. No, Alien 4 wasn't good. You're right. That's what I'm saying. The other
Is
movies
that the
he
one where
made
she has
before
sex
that
with the
were good.
alien?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember her having actual sex with an alien?
This movie was the inspiration for episode 3 of The Last of Us. Do you consider that gay, Murph? I don't remember if she did it. Alien 4 Resurrection. It's when they bring Sigourney Weaver back to life.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I think I did
So-
see that.
I mean, that was part of it. So, yeah. Anyway,
Get into the chopper.
who else was in Alien 4 though? Because Sigourney Weaver, Winona Ryder, that's who was in it.
Okay.
It's the one with
Yeah, yeah,
Winona
yeah.
Ryder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, man. It was I didn't love it. But once again,
Look what Radiant Radio just said.
I hated that scene in Amelie where she's having sex and clearly isn't enjoying it. Too real.
Hashtag too real.
I forget Amelie. It's been so long, so I can't even tell you much about what the movie was about anymore.
I
because
might
it's
have
been so
saw
long
it.
since I watched it. Yeah.
Dude, in my 20s, I watched so many movies just working at a movie theater. Then at college, just watching movies constantly because we were bored. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you.
In college, my
Um,
roommate worked at Blockbuster, so he'd bring like 4 to 5 movies home on the weekends, and we just like watch.
Yeah.
So many movies.
So this is. I'm going to zoom into this and show you guys. This is the cover for Delicatessen. If you
Yeah, I don't
guys
know
can
if
see this
I don't know
movie.
if I've seen it or not with the cover.
Hang on, I got the pic right here.
That
So if you
name
guys
don't
can-
sound familiar though. No, I've never
Yes.
seen this. What the heck? What's it about?
It's about a butcher, and he lives in the bottom. His shop is at the bottom of this building.
Yeah.
So it's the storefront, and then he's got tenants that live above him, and it's almost like the Barber of Seville, where he's making meat pies. You know what I mean?
So is this a Batman villain story? Is that what this is?
No, but he is a murderer, and then he starts feeding people.
Oh God.
Yeah, to people because he's
And you
chopping them
liked
up into
it?
delicatessen. It's an interesting film. Yeah, I liked it because it was totally outside of normal Hollywood movies.
Is
And
it a
was-
horror
was-
movie? What would you?
I don't know if
consider
I'd call
as-
it. I don't know if I'd call it a horror movie. It's got horror elements, but I don't know if I'd say it's strictly horror. It's just very interesting. And his other movie, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. Give me a minute to look it up and get the picture for it. City of Lost Children. I would recommend that one. That's probably my favorite of his.
Did you
Hey,
like
where's
the
the cover?
remake called I Am Gay? Mo Big said you liked it.
That's awesome.
Mo says you
Let me,
love nothing more than man meat.
What? I can't even defend myself right now. Okay.
No, you can't. This is great.
I know. I'm out of there, and I'm looking up shit, and he's ripping me apart. Hang on a minute.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
he
share this
said.
now.
Oh!
You're terrible.
Ripping me
terrible.
apart.
There's the City of Lost Children.
Oh my god. What movies are you watching?
This is freaking cool, man, and I think you guys
God.
would like this. It's got Ron Perlman in it, which this is at the time when Ron Perlman was still doing like many faces and doing many different types of characters, and he does a really good role in this film, and I think you guys would like it. So
Is
I
this
say
a horror movie?
no. It's almost a fairy tale, but it's really cool.
Wow.
Dirk preferred
Hail,
the
Jim
gender
Cox.
swapped Amelie remake. I'm a gay. Of course he liked it, Murph. Dirk loves nothing more than man meat. My gosh. Hail, Jim.
Hey Jim, what movies have been made by Canada?
Well, they're making a lot of things in Montreal now. Didn't you know that?
Yeah, but isn't it still our Hollywood just filming there?
Well, they're contracting up there, but I'm sure that Montreal's doing a lot, you know. Looks like a 90s metal album cover. It does. It's
yes,
really
it
cool.
does. Like something Tool would have, yeah.
And I think that's... So this is when movies were still imaginative, and I feel like people were still being imaginative at this time.
So what is he wearing?
Different.
What is that?
It's a contraption. You have to watch the movie to see what it's all about. And he's wearing this like doctor. It's very like mad scientist type deal that he's doing.
Okay.
And you just need to watch it. But I think it's an interesting movie, and to me it's very imaginative. And I wish we had movies that would take chances and do this kind of shit now. You know what I mean? Because they're telling stories in a weird way that that's unconventional and we're not used to it, and it really captures your imagination.
Well,
And-
doesn't Del Toro do stuff like that? Like, remember that movie where the guy had eyes
Sometimes.
in his hand, and it was like a little kid?
But it's not
seeing
just
this
being
creepy
creepy.
world.
He's actually telling, he's telling a story in a
Well,
new
Del
and
Toro
interesting
tells
way.
a story in all of his stuff. It's not like he's just being creepy.
Yeah, I guess. Until it sleeps video.
Until it's like, nice.
That would fit
Nice.
actually.
That is a good video, too.
Yeah, Toronto's doing.
Now I
that
have
too.
Metallica's Until It Sleeps in my head.
Yeah,
That's
sounds
such a
like an
great
issue
song.
of Goofanoid. No, Fizz is not making his presence known here, but yeah, I would say recommend this stuff. I recommend it. You guys check these movies out. I think you would like it.
I don't think I'm going to watch the man meat thing.
Oh gosh, it's a speaker plugged directly into his brain that constantly plays Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper. I hate that guy's voice so bad. Oh my gosh, on the BK commercials, woo,
What if it's
terrible.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO? Pick up
Oh
the
no!
phone.
But you remember how goofy that guy's voice is? It's
Yes,
terrible.
I
don't know how
do.
he got a friggin' job. It's so weird. Anyway, I'm going to stop this. So back to what we were saying, masculinity.
Well, kind of like outside of sports, as a teenager to young man, what else can you do that puts you in like actually watching
Yeah.
it made me miss, like, you see on all these guys just like, feeding off that masculine energy And it's like you don't get that anywhere outside of sports. And it's like, why isn't
Yeah,
that? Why isn't there more things
well,
like that?
it's kind of interesting because that's where it's okay for everybody to be competitive, but it's not okay to be in that masculine, macho, competitive spirit unless you're in that. I don't understand it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that you got to look at. Like, Ethan just had me watch, if you guys have ever heard of the Sea Boys.
No.
They're on YouTube. Their channel's big. But they get in there and they swap out engines. They took a Ninja and they took an engine from a Ninja and put it in like a go-kart, you know,
What's
or like
a
a
Ninja?
four-wheeler, you know, a motorcycle,
Okay.
you know,
Kawasaki
crotch rocket.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Crotch
And like they're taking these powerful engines and putting them in these other vehicles that shouldn't have that powerful of
cool.
an engine in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just having a blast. They're just out there like riding wheelies, making jumps, getting dirty, doing stupid shit. And much like boys usually do, you know what I mean? They're just out there and having a great time. And my son was even like making comments to me. He goes, "Dad, you watch some really lame shit. Let's watch this," you know. And we put on the Sea Boys, and you know, and that's what they're doing. And it was cool. And I was like, "Yeah, that's actually a lot of fun." So that's the kind of stuff that unless you're with a lot of boys, they're not going to push you to do that kind of shit. You know, they're going to have you play house with all the little girls.
What is Read Radio talking about taxes? You haven't filed your own taxes before the age of 13.
Yeah, you're not a man if you haven't filed your own taxes before the age of 13. Huh. Damn, that's rough. When I was a kid, we said ninja with a hard R. Ninja. Ninja. That's awesome.
Funny.
I was going to look up...
Raiden, how did you have taxes before the age of 13? What job were you working on to get taxed? You have a paper route? Were they taxing you on that? Like,
hang on. There was a...
what?
I saw a...
What?
I saw an ad, or it was like a it was from the New Yorker, and it had an article, and I think it was meant to be tongue in cheek, but it really came out kind of weird. Oh, 7 signs that your man's masculinity is non-toxic.
Okay,
And I
let's
was
hear
like,
this.
Holy shit, man! So let's show you first. Let's do that.
Oh yeah, show it.
This one's interesting. So, let me see if I can get rid of that.
Look at the picture of the guy.
I know.
Hey,
So
everybody.
So he carries a tote bag. You know,
That's female.
that's at once pro-environment, pro-feminism, and
Yeah,
pro-reading.
read books.
Yeah. When he goes into a sports bar to use the bathroom, he buys a glass of white wine to be polite.
What?
Uh-huh.
I don't get that.
Well, I mean, he's buying a drink, but he's not getting heavy, he's just drinking wine. He openly cries during Pixar movies, even parts that aren't sad, just beautiful. And
I
look,
have to
he's
say
got-
though, how
look at the character on the
upstarted.
screen.
Yeah, how upstarted was very sad. His
Oh,
wife
yeah.
dying and everything. That was
Sure.
heart-wrenching.
Sure, man, but damn. He opens doors for women at work, but they're metaphorical doors, like the ones that lead to promotion.
Metaphorical doors.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
you take the
terrible.
promotion, not me. There you go. Yeah.
Now listen to this one, it gets better. He laughs calmly when called a cuck.
Oh, what?
He laughs loudly when women are funny. He does not laugh when men are not.
Wait, who? When do
I
you guys
know.
laugh at other guys when it's not funny? Unless
when-
that's
why would
funny,
you
how
be
unfunny
called-
they are.
Why, if I'm called a cuck, would I laugh?
Yeah, yeah, that's really
What?
weird. Yeah, that's
It is
very
weird. He makes references to Kurt Vonnegut because he's genuinely interested to hear other people's opinions of Vonnegut's work. He
I don't even know
never
who the hell
makes
that is.
references to David Foster Wallace. Well, we'll talk about them in a minute, but isn't that weird? So David Foster Wallace, remember that, and Kurt Vonnegut.
You know who both of them are?
I know Kurt Vonnegut. I don't know David Foster Wallace. 7. He strictly follows all traffic laws when he plays Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, this is not serious. This
His
is a
Sims
joke. Whoever wrote
world
this.
is a matriarchy. He does not have a Twitter account.
This
No,
is a
it's
joke.
not. It is. It
that
is
whole
a joke.
cuck thing's a joke. Yeah.
It was satire for sure. Okay, so don't get your panties all in a bunch about it yet,
Mo
guys.
Big says
What?
before he opens those doors, he opens his fly.
Yeah. So feminism, environmentalist reading. I'm against all of those
Reading.
things.
He's
Yes.
against reading.
Look at that. The list should be how to
man.
tell your man is probably on the sex offender registry, or should be.
Oh.
That's awesome. Number 1, he's a complete simp, for sure. And then look at that. I chopped wood for Teddy Roosevelt. I did. Mo said Reagan grew up in the city of lost children. Shows some tact, no
Yeah,
doubt.
okay.
And then he laughs off the cuck comments because he knows he wouldn't have had his beloved Nintendo Switch without the generosity of his wife's boyfriend, and would therefore be unable to play the new Zelda. Oh, unfortunately, that's probably real scenarios for real people. Unfortunately. But yeah, this kind of thing, man. It's like, as
You ever see that news
as much
story
as I know
where
that's...
there was 4 guys dating the same female and the female wasn't even attractive? Did you ever see
Ooh,
that thing?
no.
That was crazy. Yeah.
No.
It's like,
I don't
what are
wanna
these
see it.
people doing?
So, yeah, it just, that's satire, and I understand that. But I also think there's some, like,
I didn't know
a
it was
little bit of
satire for
reality
the
going
first
on.
couple of them.
You know
That
why?
cuck
Because I
one.
think it's exactly the way that
Some people
some
think,
people
yeah.
believe. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the
Definitely.
left.
I do believe it.
New wave feminism.
Yeah, they're scared of it, and they would like to emasculate as many men as they can.
But then they complain there's no real men around. Like,
right.
you can't say it's illegal to be a cowboy, then ask where have all the cowboys gone?
People who genuinely can't differentiate between a leader from being an asshole are trying to define masculinity.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's strange to me, the world we're living in, for sure. They don't, but you're right. I mean, chivalry, they don't want chivalry, but yet they do want it, you know, all at the
Yep.
same time. It's like, if you don't do it,
It's
you're
on their
fucked.
terms.
And if you do it, how dare you?
They just
know?
want control. That's all they want.
Yeah.
It's
right.
all control.
Yeah.
It's all
just
power.
interesting. It's sad these days, though, and I feel bad for kids coming up these days having to date in this environment.
They're saying a lot of
having to
women
do
are
with
going to
that.
be single and are
I
going to
believe
miss
it.
out just because
I believe it. I think
they're
they're
looking
going to
for
have to be.
something.
Because I know Ethan and a lot of his friends, my youngest son and a lot of his friends are, dude, they're country boys. They don't give 2 fucks about being country boys. That's what they are, and that's what they are. It's just,
Yeah.
they don't question it. They don't worry about it. They have fun. They're boys, and it's like, I love it. I love to watch them. You know what I mean? Because they're so fun. They're so fun to watch, and it's, I don't know. I'd never want to take that away from them.
Mhm.
So I say keep being who they are and screw them. You know, they'll find girls who like that. Girls do like that.
Oh, yeah.
So there will be girls out there that.
Well,
They
that's the
love
whole
it.
thing on social media now where women are like, I don't want to work. I just want to be home and raise a child. Like, I don't want to go to work every day. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Did you see that video where that girl was actually doing that?
Yeah.
And she's like, and the guy was like, yeah, you know, my wife wants to be at home. She wants to take
Yeah.
care of the kids. She wants to be the homemaker, and she wants me to go to work. So I go to work, and she loves to cook for me every day.
Yeah.
And they were like making fun of her for doing that. They were making
That's
fun
so
of her for taking on the role of just satisfying her husband and wanting him, to support her that way. And I was like, that's awesome that they want that. You don't see that very often. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad we don't see that anymore.
Yeah, what's better,
It's made
being a
fun of
manager
now.
at some business? Is that a better
Yeah.
life?
I don't know. Nothing makes a woman more miserable than having nothing to complain about. Right. Being a pushover cuck will never get those ovaries howling. That's truth.
Dude, that's a quote.
That's
quote.
funny, man. That's pretty funny.
That's a
But
quote.
I mean, it's so
That's a
true
good
and it's
quote,
sad.
Randy.
So guys, one thing I want you to think about is like when you go to cons, and I'm sure some of you do here, because some of you are creators and others are fans. So, but if you go to cons, have you noticed the changeover of like less boys and more girls, or are you seeing it's a good mix? Because we had guys who were into it, but they were like into our book with fantasy and things like that, but they were the
Play
older
Dungeons
dudes.
and Dragons.
Yeah. Yep. So they were definitely, and then I had a guy look at my prints, and he goes, "Have you drawn any He-Man?" And I was like, "No," but that's interesting you bring that up because I loved He-Man when I was growing up, and I said I would love to do that
Thundercats were
someday.
better.
Oh, I
were
love
better.
Thundercats too, though. So, but a lot of people ask about He-Man, a lot.
When
So-
did the He-Man cartoon end? Did it end before
I don't know.
like I was 4 or 5? And why? Because I had Ghostbusters and Thundercats and Turtles. I don't remember ever seeing the He-Man cartoon.
I really can't tell you. I'd have to look it up. So,
Like I remember the G.I. Joe cartoon, but I didn't like it, and Transformers because I didn't like that they looked like boxes.
oh man, I love those cartoons. So, yeah, I can't tell you when it ended. I don't remember. So I'd have to look that up. But it's just interesting. So if you guys can think about that, it's just something to think about. I want to know if, maybe put in the
wanna know.
comments or put it here in the chat and let us know what you think about cons, what you've witnessed at cons, because yeah, it was strange to me. Even 3 years since the last time we went. Yeah, I couldn't believe how many girls were there this time compared to the boys. It was pretty interesting. And really no superhero creators were there. None. None. Not one.
Not one. Well, us.
Which,
Yeah, one.
huh?
There was
What?
one. Us. Us.
Well, I mean
was one.
traditional superhero, not fantasy superhero.
Oh. okay.
Traditional superhero. And I mean like, Superman, Batman style. There was nobody creating a character like that and representing at this mini-con. And that's kind of interesting to think about.
Look at Hicks villain.
So at New York City Comic Con, I noticed a full takeover of manga and anime. Yep. Years ago, they had their own little section. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I think we saw a microcosm of this.
Yeah.
The takeover of manga and anime, which makes sense. Manga and anime so big, but the point
Yeah.
being is that not only are manga and anime big, but now boys have kind of, they've kind of gravitated away from that, and they're following other things.
Well, probably boys are into sports, NFL,
No, though,
NBA.
man, it's so weird to me. It makes me wonder what else.
Probably
they're into.
wrestling, UFC. Probably a lot of boys are into. I would have loved UFC as a kid if that was around.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't as cool as wrestling still, though. I still think wrestling's cooler than UFC. Because you had characters. You had guys that were, like, bigger than life. UFC don't do the bigger than life shit. They're just fighters. You know what I mean? It's a different thing.
Yeah, well, the fights are so quick, too. And you have to pay the pay-per-views.
Yeah. Yeah, they are into sports a lot. I mean, I agree with that,
Yeah.
but I just wonder where they are for the comics and stuff. It's like, what are they gravitating into?
Because, I was
besides
born
this
in
stuff?
'83, and I really got into the NBA with the Dream Team in '92. So I was around
Yeah.
9 when I got into sports. And so I was into the
Sure.
NBA for about 4 to 5 years, then went into the NFL. But then went back
Okay.
into wrestling late '90s with the NWO and
Well, yeah, because
Stone
it got
Cold
exciting
Steve Austin.
again. It kind of
Oh,
had
yeah,
an
that was
ebb,
great.
and then it
Yeah.
got exciting again. So that was a whole different ball game at
The
that point.
NWO, Austin, DX, that was great wrestling time.
Right. Yeah. It was a different time. Now I was not watching that era. I had kind of gravitated away from it all at that point, but I understood why people loved it because that was Stone Cold Steve Austin era, right?
Yep. And The
Yeah.
Rock.
And The Rock, yeah. So boys are into Fortnite, shooting Nicki Minaj, and Call of Duty. These
That's
days,
true.
no doubt.
Boys are into Call of Duty, yeah.
It's true.
Video
Well,
games. Boys are
Fortnite,
into
I would say
video games.
Fortnite. I'd say Fortnite's even bigger than Call of Duty now.
Is it bigger than Call of Duty?
Dude, it's friggin' huge. I don't know.
I tried
That's
playing
a
it. I
hard
never
one.
got into
Well,
it.
see, Call of Duty, I think, has kind of taken a back seat recently because the games just aren't as good as they were. I know people are still playing it, but I don't think it's quite as popular as it used to be.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a long time. I used to play Call of Duty all the time.
Hicks, let them live in their fantasies.
Why? What did Hicks say?
Well, he said boys are
Oh,
into
oh.
shooting Nicki Minaj and Call of Duty these days. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's where it's at. They're all into the video games,
Yeah.
so they get their
There-
fantasy
yeah,
out of that.
I'd say video games is still a male-dominant. You know, there's not a lot of females into video games.
I mean, I'm not saying Fortnite's better than Call of Duty. I'm just saying I thought it was more popular for a minute because
You could be right. I mean, Fortnite is up there, so
it's big, dude. It's so big, and I
Yeah.
feel like because of pop culture too, because they've taken a lot of pop culture characters and threw it in there, that
Oh,
just
yeah.
made it explode.
Pretty much everyth's in there. They take
Yeah.
anything and put it in there.
It's kind of true. Yeah. Mo says they're both trash. I mean, I don't know, man. They have their positives and negatives. I love to play with my boys in Call of Duty. I used to love to. I haven't done it in a while, but I loved it. I liked Fortnite, but I could never build, so I was never good at like keeping myself alive for very long. I could hide real
Yeah,
well, but I
thought
couldn't.
that was weird
I couldn't
too.
fight
The
that good.
building,
It was hard to do. I just couldn't get the controls right.
the
But
building
they
didn't
they
seem
were
fun to me.
fast.
Like shooting
It
is
wa-
fun, but not building. I think that's I don't.
I think hand-eye coordination goes a long way, and kids have it.
Yeah.
And us old folks do not.
Oh yeah, they definitely have it.
That's because you love playing games with your boys. If they were into actually good games, you'd enjoy it even more. Well, I like Skyrim. I mean, my sons are into Skyrim too. They like it. You know, Caden's into some other things. Doom. What's the other one that he was into? He was just talking about it the other day. And
Destiny.
it's really cool. He got into Destiny, but Destiny wasn't that big for him. What was it called? I had it the other day.
Oh, is it
It's
Cyberpunk?
No.
What type of game is it?
It's... Hang on a minute. I think he texted me about it the other day. Diablo 4.
Oh, I've never
You wanna
played
talk
any
about
of
it?
those games.
Well, Diablo 4 is the fantasy designs that they put in there was fantastic, man. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Didn't he quit though because it deleted all of his stuff?
He got pissed, but then he was able to get it back. They fixed it.
Okay.
So, lucky him. So yeah, I mean, just think about that, guys. I mean, for us, I think masculinity's taken a big hit over the years, watching it with just where we're at in pop culture and in reality, and it's kind of a sad state of affairs. So I'm hoping we reclaim this. We need to reclaim our place in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, quit putting up with that bullshit.
Oh,
It's
we
good
hit
to be
an
a
hour.
man.
We need to
I
end
know.
it.
I know.
Let's be a man and end it.
That's what I'm
End
saying.
it.
It's good to be a man.
End
So-
it.
Hey,
Hit the
Murph
table.
is stupid, so
Hit
he's
the
making us
table.
have to quit.
End it with hitting the table, like those twins do it all the time. You ever watch them on YouTube?
The Hodge twins?
Yeah. it's a good show, and then they like slam the table. They're hilarious, man.
Did you see how it like vibrated my camera? Watch.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Anyway,
That's what I'm talking about.
Your waste. Anyway, hey guys, we'll catch you next week. Hopefully
Like,
we're gonna have some guests
subscribe,
coming on
share,
the show.
tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your neighbors, tell your coworkers.
We'll have some guests on the show, hopefully, and
Tell your friends.
It'll be an exciting time. So we hope to see you guys next week. It's Murph's fault. We're cutting off early. All right, blame him.
We gotta keep
Bye.
it to an hour for the agnorism, or
See
the
ya
no, not agnorism.
later.
Wait, what's the term?
You're terrible.
YouTube's
You're
got
terrible.
some type of rhythm.